hemp industry is cleared to do business with banks. The number of banks in the United States willing to lend to hemp producers can be counted on one hand. That is about to change. Federal and state bank regulators announced Tuesday that they were scrapping a burdensome requirement that banks said kept them away from the hemp business. Banks will no longer have to treat their hemp customers as suspicious and file reams of paperwork to anti-money laundering authorities for each interaction. The change could provide a major boost to a niche product that began its own legalization process last year. Banking has been an ongoing problem, said Erica McBride Stark, the executive director of the National Hemp Association, a trade group for growers. So this actually should be quite helpful. Hemp products are made from the same plants that produce marijuana, but they are cultivated to have far less tetrahydrocannabinol, or THC, the chemical that produces a high when ingested. The plant stalks can be woven into fabric and their seeds processed into oils used in food, but they cannot be made into drugs. Even so, federal law long considered hemp to be as forbidden as cocaine and heroin. But with the legalization of marijuana spreading across the country, 33 states have legalized the drug for medical use and 11 states will allow sales for recreational use by January. Lawmakers in Washington decided to do away with the designation for its milder sibling. Last year Congress legalized hemp as a crop and directed the U.S. Agriculture Department to start regulating hemp production. It took the agency almost a year to devise rules for the industry, but once they were released, on October 31, bank regulators prepared to take action. Tuesday's statement, from the Federal Reserve, the Federal Deposit Insurance Company and other state and federal regulators, informs banks that they can now treat hemp producers like other customers, as long as the companies can prove they are following licensing requirements. The restrictions on the industry had held back even Stark's organization, a non-profit that does not actually produce hemp. The trade group had problems getting basic services because banks were worried that it could be receiving proceeds from a crime when it collected its members' dues. The Agriculture Department rule change on its own did not help. They understood that hemp was removed from the Federal Controlled Substances Act, but because of the paperwork that was involved, a lot of them were just like, "Yeah, it's just not worth it," she said. Rob Nichols, the president of the American Bankers Association, a trade group, said his members had been pushing for the change for some time. Last month, the association surveyed 1,800 agriculture-focused banks in the country and found that almost half had gotten questions from their farmer customers about whether tea. For more on this story, visit the news article link.